I attempted to film this video already, and I got 23 minutes of footage that was all out of focus. So, take 2. Hello, welcome to my top 10 albums of 2015. So, that was weird. So 2015 was a great year, as I mentioned in my last video. It was an amazing year in so many ways, but mostly for music. So many amazing albums came out this year. I have formed a list of 10 of them that were my absolute fave. Before I tell you about my list, I just need to talk about Ariana Grande real quick. She's amazing, and although we did not get an album from her this year, we did get a world tour, which I didn't get to see, but that's okay. We got a Perfume, and we also got a little song called Focus, which was amazing. So that's honestly one of my top songs of this year. And then her Christmas and Chill EP was amazing. Still listening to it, honestly, because just because Christmas is over doesn't mean I can't listen to Ari. Anyway, I decided to talk about her real quick. Let's get to the list of albums. So number 10 is a bit controversial because this is a band a lot of people don't like. They're not usually put together with the other bands that I'm going to talk about in a few minutes. They're usually put together with bands that I don't like Fall Out Boy and Panic at the Disco and all those bands like that. But I do really love this band and I love this album. It is Blurry Face by 21 Pilots. I've jammed out to it a lot. I have a lot of good memories with my friends listening to this album. We got really into it. I just really enjoyed it. It sounds different from Vessels, which was their previous album, but it sounds like them still. The lyrics are good. The music is really catchy and different. A lot of the songs sound like 3 songs in one, which is really, really cool. And I just really loved this album and not sorry about it, so get out. My top 3 songs from this album are The Judge, Polarize, and Stressed Out. Alright. Number 9 is The Desired Effect by Brandon Flowers. The Brandon Flowers. Earlier this year I made a video called New Albums and Weird Dreams or something like that, and I mentioned this album and I gave it a C because at the time I was very disappointed with it. I've listened to it a little bit more and it's still not my fave, but because the amount that I loved the first 2 songs that he released, which were Lonely Town, Still Want You, and Can't Deny My Love, those are my top 3 songs and I'm obsessed with those still. I had to put it on this list and it's just low because I wasn't that impressed, but I freaking love those songs and I still love Brandon, and that's why I'm putting this album on this list because I still love him, still want you. Number 8 is Fruit by Marina and the Diamonds. This was one of the first albums that I got of this year, and I mean last year, it's 2016, and I get with the program. Sounded like Marina, but it was still a little bit more mature. Still super groovy, I loved it. Really upbeat, really fun, great time. My top 3 songs are Blue. I forgot, I need to look at the list. Hello, where's the list? Hello? Whoa, the paper disappeared. What the? I'm not even joking. Oh, it's over here. Professional. My top 3 songs from this album are Blue, I'm a Ruin, and Can't Pin Me Down. Number 7 is How Big, How Blue, How Beautiful by Florence and the Machine. It's been a while since Flo has released an album. It's been a while since a lot of these people have released albums, which was what was so exciting about this year because so many people were like, I'm back, and I was like, I'm excited. But yeah, Florence is one of them. This album sounds just like Florence and the Machine always does. It's not a bad thing. It's just they have that same like epic sound. All their songs have just been so epic and just unlike anything else you've ever heard. This album is still that way. I love it. There's some really, really amazing bombastic songs on it. I sound like Brandon Flowers because he always uses that word. My top 3 songs are Queen of Peace, Delilah, and What Kind of Man. Number 6 is Momentary Masters by Albert Hammond Jr. and Mickey Mouse is in the building. Number 6 is Momentary Masters by Albert Hammond Jr. who I met. Who? I don't know. I met him this year and last year. What? Why do I think it's still 2015? I met him last year in September when I saw him live for this tour of this album. An amazing live. Also, he's an amazing human being in person. I highly recommend meeting him if you ever get the chance. This album is amazing. There's a reason I wanted to see him live. I was excited that he was coming back with music. It's a lot edgier than his other solo stuff, and it's just a lot more raw sounding, and I just really, really enjoyed it. And my 3 favorite songs on this album are Born Slippy, Drunched, and Crumbs, and Don't Think Twice, which I believe is a Bob Dylan cover. Number 5 is Yuck by Alpine. My sister introduced me to Alpine a couple of years ago, and I think they're amazing, very unique, unlike anyone I've ever heard before, and their album that came out this summer is amazing. It's definitely not yuck, it's very good, so deal with it. A lot more convoluted than their first album, which is not meant to be a derogatory term. All the songs have so many layers, and the vocal parts are amazing and intricate, and every time you listen to one of their songs, you find something different about it, and I love that. 3 favorite songs from that album are Jellyfish, Crunches, and Shot Fox. Number 4 is Blood by Leanne LaHavas, and I think that's how you pronounce her name. I don't know. I'm sorry if I butchered it. I am obsessed with this woman. She is absolutely incredible. This album has like changed my life. My sister also introduced me to her because she listened to NPR, which is a very adult thing to do, to listen to NPR. But she bought her album, and then one day I was in the car with my sister and she came on and it was so good. My sister let me borrow the album and I've been listening to it ever since. That was like in September and I'm still listening to this album. Her voice is absolutely beautiful and amazing. She's just a beautiful woman in general also. And her songs they're soulful, they're groovy, they also have this like underlying rock kind of vibe. They're very bluesy as well. My 3 favorite songs from this album are Midnight, Green and Gold, and Tokyo. Number 3 is Marks to Prove It by the Maccabees. I became so obsessed with the Maccabees this year. I love them. They're amazing guys. They're so cool. They're very talented, and their music, the way it evolves, is amazing. Every album is different, and this one is just so good. I think my favorite thing about this album is how much emotion it conveys when you listen to it. It makes you feel things. I don't know, you get very involved with it emotionally. I don't know how to describe that any other way, and I really hope that I can see them live sometime because I'm in love with them. And my 3 favorite songs on this album are Kamakura, Spit It Out, and Something Like Happiness. Number 2 is What Went Down by Foals. What I love about Foals is on all their albums, they manage to have this vibe about them that you listen to it and every song goes together perfectly. There's always this underlying tone of all the songs, and you listen to it and you know it's Foals and you know which album it goes on, and you can listen to them straight together as one album unit, and it sounds so perfect. And lots of really cool rhythms in this album, and I am just obsessed. I cannot stop listening to it. My 3 favorite songs off this album are Lonely Hunter, Birch Tree, and Mountain at My Gates. Okay, my number 1 album. I honestly put this album at number 1 because of how it made me feel this year. This album came out the day after my niece was born, and so when I think about this album, I think about the summertime, my niece being born, and driving back and forth to the hospital to see her and listening to this album. And honestly, I picked this album because it exceeded my expectations. The album hadn't even come out yet, and I was already so excited for it. And when it came out and it was perfect, that was amazing. I saw Tim and Paula a couple months before this album came out, and I met them, and they were the nicest people ever. I got a picture with Kevin, with my sister, and having them be the most genuine people ever was just really amazing. Like I said with Foals, Tame Impala has this whole sound and this vibe to all their albums and just all their music in general that you know it's them the minute it starts playing. They have this original sound that is unlike anyone else I've ever seen before. I mean, heard before. There's nothing wrong with this album whatsoever. Everything is right with it, and it is my favorite album of 2015. My top 3 songs are The Less I Know The Better, Let It Happen, and Reality in Motion. There are so many songs on all of these albums, more than 3, that I loved a lot, but I just wanted to narrow it down to 3 so this video wasn't 500 hours long, which is approaching, so let's get done with this. These albums are amazing. I'm still going to be listening to them as we go into 2016, but I'm excited to see what albums come out in 2016. I know Vampire Weekend may be releasing something this year. Ariana Grande might be releasing an album this year. Also, I'm looking forward to hearing from new people that I've never heard before, and I'm just very excited for this year. Comment down below what your top 10 albums of 2015 are, and it doesn't have to be 10, just your top 3, 5, 6, 8, whatever. I'll see you guys next time with a different video, and I hope you have an amazing day. Goodbye. Someone's starting their truck and it's loud. So great. Why do you exist? I see Dad, she's sleeping. Look how cute. Look how cute he is. He's too sleepy. He's too sleepy. Why are the outros always so difficult to not make awkward? I don't know.